Hello everyone, it's Jackie from Pretty Paper Crafts. I'm in the middle or nearing the end of my next fancy fold, but it's not going to be ready until next week, so I just thought I would come in and do this shortish video just on, it's quite a dying craft actually, 3D decoupage. It could be called decoupage or decoupage. It was my very first crafting thing, apart from knitting and sewing when my children were young. We used to make their clothes. In fact, when I had my children, the boys, my oldest one was in 90s. They didn't have day clothes for babies back then. And I remember taking one of the 90s to pieces and, you know, making some more. And then I progressed on to making little romper suits and things like that. Anyway, so obviously I done the sewing and the knitting, all their jumpers and everything were hand knitted. But my first adventure into actually card making was the 3D decoupage. So all this looks as if it's junk, but it isn't actually junk. And what I did back then, I mean, nowadays you've got stylish things just produced for decoupage. And Hunky Dory do a big supply of, they're very much had loads of Hunky Dory pads, especially for decoupage. I'll go through that in a moment with you. But I obviously started then, it was back then, and I was using the wrapping paper, good old wrapping paper. Now this particular sheet of wrapping paper is perfect for it because you've got a clear definition of what the picture's all about, and you've got the layers and you can cut the individual layers out. This is another one that I had fun using. You could do the individual little characters, and you can use as much or as less as you want. What I did do is I would cut the first layer out, obviously not with something like this in, and I would glue the back of the layer and then glue that onto the card, and then that is where I would start. So I'm just going to move these wrapping papers out of the way because they're getting in, they will get in the way. What you need and what I did back then is you've got these little things now that go on the back which do add your layers up. Little don't sticks ones, but there's loads and loads of brands. In fact, you get loads of these free with magazines, so they soon build up. But I started off with silicone, not these small ones. I used the big kitchen ones, and what I used to do is I would get a children's, oh that's snapped, I used to get a children's eye drop syringe from the pharmacy. They were literally pence to buy. I would, well now that's snapped off inside, but I would fill it up with the sealer from the big contained one as long as it's clear, and then that would be perfect for me to put the amount of blobs on then, for want of a better description, to make each layer. So that's a really cost-effective way of doing it. I know now you can buy these ones is white. I actually ordered the wrong one. This is no good for decoupage because that white will come through. So you do want the clear. Then it doesn't show on the back whatsoever. So straightforward, that one or that one. This one is designed so you can use it from here. You don't have to put it in a syringe, it's just there, you use it from there. This again, this was a wrapping paper. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. This was, I can't remember what one this one was. No, I really don't know, so I can't hazard a guess on that one, but it's all numbered. Now I'll show you on, this one is numbered on this one. I'll move that one out of the way because it's easier for this. Now what I've done on here to explain it you get these sheets in let me just show you here. In this book, for example, this is a hunky-dory book, and as you go through the book, you've got each one. So you've got this one and this one on a double page, and then as you carry on through, you get this page, this one here, and that's all the pieces that you're going to need to finish that one. And then after that, because there's still 2 of them, and 3 even, then you get the daffodil ones to do that. Now, to show you a bit more in depth, this would be your backing piece, and that's the one you would cut round and you'd glue the back and you'd put that directly on your card. Now, each one of these, what I do is I cut them out roughly to start with. They've got the numbers on, so you would automatically choose, you'd put that one, then you go, that's the next one, that's 1, then you go on to 2, because 1 is this one, then that's 1A, in other words, that's the next piece that you cut round, and then it goes on there. Then you go on to 2, and like that, and you keep going until all your pieces are used up. But if you cut them round like I did roughly to start with, just keeping the numbers there, then I put them in a little plastic bag like that one that I shown you just now. I put them in a little, just an ordinary plastic bag like that, just to separate them all so you don't get all the pieces mixed up with everyone else's. So then you just cut round them, and then when you've got your piece, let's say the butterfly piece to start with, then you put either your little square on the back. So you would put on this one, you would use 2 pieces, 1 under each wing. And then when you stuck that down, you would just push it down in the middle, and that would hold the wings up. That would do 1 layer. Now, because they just odd pieces that you can use on anything, they've just got 3 or 4 pieces. They're not numbered. They're just extra if you wanted them floating around after you've made your card up, like this piece. You haven't got to use it, but you might want to use it somewhere. So, or even the inside of card would be nice. So you gradually build your layers up until you've got like this one. Now this one, if you can see down the side, I'll show you as clear as what I can. This has got the base layer, this one. And then on this piece here, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers, or 7 layers with that one. And you gradually build it up. So you've got, you sort of, let me show you on here. You're looking at your picture and you're thinking, right, the thing that is closest to you is this red flower. So this is, I'm talking if you haven't got them numbered. So the first one I would do is I would make sure I had cut enough pieces out on a piece of wrapping paper, if that's what I used. So I would make sure I had 6 layers. And the first one I would do is I would cut that flower, because that would be the first one. And then the next layer would be maybe this one and this one. And then this one and this one. And then the next one you would add maybe those 2. So each time you're adding a bit more. Now this is working in reverse. You can actually, once you're more experienced, you can work the other way. And you're gradually building it up until you've got all the boots and round the flowers in, which would be your next layer on top of this piece, because obviously you need this piece. If you don't, if it's on a sheet of wrapping paper like this, then I would cut this into a nice oblong or square, depending on square, probably you would get that. So you'd cut it down there, across there, and that would be a thing. So the first, if you were working in the reverse, you would cut that first one out. Then you would cut round the outside of both dogs. Then you would cut this dog and then this dog, so they're singly. Then you would put, the next layer would be the ears go on the top because the ears are quite front, and the bow, the hat, and maybe the nose on this one because the ears on this one are sat back a bit, but it has got more of a nose, and the nose of this one. And then the final one would be another one of the hat and another one of the bows, maybe the noses. And it's so reasonably priced, but, and it is a big but, these are copyright protected. You cannot sell these cards, but you're more than happy to make cards that you're giving to family and sending to family and friends, but you cannot sell them. Now, I'm not sure what the copyright rules are for Hunky Dory, but if you went to Hunky Dory site, I'm sure it would say, I think, and I'm not sure, but I think if you were just selling a few, perhaps for charity or something like that, they wouldn't have a problem. But if you were selling mass produced, then they obviously would have a problem. So that's what you've got now. This one, let me just move this a minute. This one here, this is all the bits that I used to make a card. Can't remember when I made this one, but I've made it recently, and this is all the bits, already got the backings on. So I've done all the little squares and everything for all the words, because obviously they'll be 3D'd. This was a Katie Sue package where they're all singled out. You just have to cut them around, and this one is really, really pretty. It's got all the different layers. So these ones have not got the layers on them yet because I wasn't 100% sure what I was doing with them. But just fill it up with ordinary tape or the little squares or whatever you have to hand. Foam tape that you can buy from a DIY shop is a cheap way of doing it. Got sticky on the back. And then I just cut them all out, go through, stick the little squares on the back, or if you've got, you're going to use your sealer, then use that. And it just makes it easy for you if it's a pre-one. But if you're using wrapping paper, you just have to think ahead. Like on this one, just these flowers would be in the front, these would be added afterwards, these would be added, but the green taken out. So you get to know what ones come in the front of the layers and what ones come in the back, because this would sit in the back, but these flowers would be in the front. Now the next layer, you would have to do another layer because you'd have to do these centers, and that would be on your final layer. This would obviously have some on the back, but on the top of that. So it's quite easy after a while. You have to practice on something easy. So maybe get some cute little animals like those dog ones. They're ideal for you to learn on. And then you get you can make some really nice cards with, what ones you can buy. Now this is, like I said, these are the Hunky Dory ones. There is loads and loads and loads in one Hunky Dory pack. So you certainly get your money's worth. They're not sponsoring it or anything. I'm just saying you get loads and loads all the way through the book. So, you've got enough cards to last you a pretty long time. This one is nice. It's you know, any occasion. You can add the occasions. This is the dog one, look. So you've got this one. Then you've got the black dog, the brown dog. Then I've done the dog's heads. Then the next layer I've done just the dog's ears and the noses. Dog's ears and the noses and the bow. Now that is, if you look at it down there, it's a few layers. You can get away with 3, depending on what it is. 4. Obviously, the more layers there are, the more effective it is. That is cute. That is pretty cute. This one is a poppy one. This one is really nice. I do believe that's a hunky-dory one as well. And this one, nice birthday one. Let me move these. And obviously the ones that I've done on my, I don't know whether it's the last tutorial, I think it was the last tutorial. These were the ones that I'd done this fold, and they had the decoupage, 3D decoupage in there. Now, ordinary decoupage, what they say when people are doing just straightforward decoupage, it's where they're cutting it out and they're sticking it on maybe a ceramic plant pot or a dish or a piece of china or something. Now, that is just called decoupage. But these, they're actually 3D decoupage because it's 3-dimensional. So these ones are the ones, like I said, I've done last month. This one, the new home one that I done last month, again, just 3-dimensional. And this one, the other one that I done was flowers. It wasn't 3-dimensional. So I just wanted to just do a quick video and show you what you can do with basically wrapping paper, things that are around you, and just how you move on from there. So that's it for now. Next week, should see you next week sometime with my latest video, but this gives you something to be going on with. So anyway, thank you everyone for standing by me, and I'll catch you next week. Bye then.